Okay, listener, imagine this. You wake up one morning and everybody is driving the same car. A 1995 Toyota Camry. Sounds like something out of a dystopian movie, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's the reality proposed by the Camry Act, which is making a lot of headlines these days.
It's certainly a head scratcher, isn't it? It's hard to believe that the government is pushing for everyone to drive the same car, but here we are. The implications are far reaching, from how we think about technology to the economic impact on the auto industry.
Exactly. The Camry Act mandates that all Americans transition to driving a 1995 Toyota Camry within the next 18 months. And here's what's truly wild. It passed with bipartisan support. You've got people outraged, intrigued, and everything in between.
It's a reflection of this growing sentiment we're seeing in society. People are looking for simpler times. You see it everywhere, from the rise of retro fashion to the resurgence of vinyl records. And let's be honest, we're also seeing a growing distrust of the increasingly complex technology that surrounds us.
Absolutely. And the pro-Camry crowd is leaning into that nostalgia hard. Transportation Secretary Wheeler called it a return to automotive common sense, emphasizing the Camry's reliability, simplicity, and functionality.
It's a deliberate rejection of all the bells and whistles, the constant need to be connected, the fear of your car getting hacked because it's essentially a computer on wheels.
It brings us to this whole technological sweet spot concept. Apparently, the 95 Camry hits it perfectly. You've got basic features, no Bluetooth, no touch screens, no fancy software to worry about. Even Dr. Sarah Chen, a cybersecurity expert, said the Camry's computer system is so simple that hackers just laugh at it.
It's fascinating, isn't it? In a world where we're constantly bombarded with data and connected devices, the simplicity of the 1995 Camry is a stark contrast. It speaks to a growing anxiety around data privacy and our dependence on technology. People are starting to question the trade-offs we're making in the name of convenience.
And this whole thing has flipped the car market upside down. Used Camrys are selling for more than luxury cars. Toyota is restarting production. And you can even get them with tape decks. Remember those. Forget sleek, modern colors because beige is the new black, apparently.
The economic implications are enormous. We're talking about a potential disruption to the entire auto industry. Dealerships, mechanics, parts manufacturers, even related sectors like advertising, everyone is scrambling to adapt.
And get this, the Environmental Defense Fund is actually on board with the Camry Act. They're highlighting the fact that because these cars are so durable, you're reducing the use of rare earth minerals and manufacturing waste.
It's not a perfect solution, of course. The Camry still runs on gas, and we can't ignore the environmental costs of manufacturing vehicles. But it does raise important questions about the true environmental impact of our disposable culture, especially in car manufacturing.
So how are people actually reacting to this? We heard about Mark Thompson, a former Tesla owner, who's embracing the simpler life with his 95 Camry. He says he's enjoying the lack of constant software updates and range anxiety.
It makes you wonder, what actually brings us satisfaction? How much technology do we really need to be happy? This whole Camry Act situation is a reminder that sometimes less is more.
And then you've got Joe Rivera, a mechanic who's overjoyed because he can go back to good old-fashioned wrenching without needing a computer science degree.
This could foster a sense of community, a return to the days where neighbors helped neighbors fix their cars. Imagine a world where everyone is driving the same vehicle, creating a shared understanding and connection.
It's a wild thought, isn't it?
Yeah.
The government is already setting up Camry maintenance centers and stockpiling parts. They're even excited that they won't have to issue any software updates.
So here's the big question. Could the 1995 Toyota Camry, in all its beige, reliable glory, be the solution to some of our modern problems? Or is this just a temporary detour on the road to an even more technologically advanced future? What do you think, listener?
It's something to ponder, isn't it? This whole Camry Act situation has us questioning our relationship with technology, our consumer habits, and even our sense of identity.
You know, it's kind of interesting to think about the cultural impact this might have, too. People's identities are often wrapped up in their cars. What happens when you take away that choice? It's a question of individual expression versus the larger societal good.
That's a really good point. You know, we're used to having so much choice these days that the idea of everyone being forced to drive the same car feels almost alien. It's a real disruption to the status quo.
Absolutely. And there's a whole philosophical debate to be had here, too. Are we better off with simplicity and uniformity, or do we need all this technological complexity to truly be free?
It's definitely a thought-provoking question. We're starting to think about these ideas more and more as technology advances. And it seems like a lot of people are craving something simpler, something more grounded. It'll be interesting to see how this all plays out.
This is just the beginning of the conversation. We're going to be hearing a lot more about this Camry Act and the potential for a simpler, more streamlined future. And it's going to be fascinating to watch how we as a society grapple with these changes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, listener. We'll be back next week with another exploration of the news and the bigger ideas behind it.